This time, I will get my divorce. Mr. Chapter 2. It was because the doctors were sure that Tina had no chance of waking up that Toby agreed to Sonia's request. But he had always been indifferent and cold to her. Sonia lifted her chin and looked straight at him without flinching. I am your wife. Why should I move out while she moves in? Toby looked over immediately, his expression slowly sinking, and the darkness in his eyes became more and more frightening. Why? Because according to Tina, you were the one that crashed your car into her 6 years ago. Sonia was startled for a while, and then a bitter smile crept on her face. What if I said I wasn't? Would you believe me? Toby approached her step by step, finally forcing her into a corner. He growled coldly, do you think I'd believe you? He stared at her with his dark eyes, and there was nothing but disgust in them. You're a woman with a sick mind. I can't wait to repay Tina's suffering back to you hundreds and thousands fold. Toby's face was full of coldness. Seeing the ruthlessness in his eyes, Sonia was taken aback. It had been 6 years, she thought she would be able to break through his defenses, even just a little bit. But his heart was still ice cold. I did no such thing. Sonia pursed her lips tightly. Toby stared at her condescendingly. His dark eyes were cold, and there wasn't the slightest warmth in them. You're a smart woman. You should know what to do. With that, he left, leaving the room full of loneliness. Sonia looked at herself in the mirror, pale and worn out. She couldn't recognize the person in the mirror. She was such a proud person in the beginning, and she had actually become so withered in this relationship. How ridiculous. After a long time, she let out a sigh of relief slowly. It's about time I let myself go. The next morning, Toby took Tina to the hospital for a checkup. Sonia stood in front of the mirror. She took off the apron she had worn for 6 years, put on a white dress, and went downstairs with her suitcase. Tyler was watching TV with his legs crossed when she went downstairs. Noticing her, he looked up and called out, Hey, where are you going? Hearing that, Sonia only glanced at him lightly. She then ignored him and walked straight to the door. When Tyler saw the situation, he quickly stepped forward and grabbed her luggage with a cold gaze. Are you deaf? Didn't you hear me talking to you? Have you cleaned the room? What about breakfast? Where do you think you're going? He was only a 16-year-old boy, but not only did he have no respect for his sister-in-law, he even dared to order her to do things and complain. Sonia pried his fingers away from her luggage one by one, and with a cold face, she said, Listen up, you little B****, from now on. I won't tolerate you anymore. However, even though she didn't put too much force into it, he shouted on purpose, Mom, come here. This B***tch is bullying me. What's wrong, Tyler? When Jean went downstairs to take a look, her face instantly turned red. She scolded and hit Sonia with a feather duster. My God! How dare you bully my son? You B***tch. I'll kill you. It was not as if this old woman hadn't hit her before. She used to tell herself to bear it for Toby's sake. But this time round, Sonia grabbed the feather duster in a flash and threw it to the ground after a hard pull. Her voice was cold. Don't you dare touch me again. Jean was immediately stunned by her actions. After coming back to her senses, Jean yelled, Sonia Reed, are you out of your mind? I will get my son to divorce you. In the past, for the sake of Toby's grandma, she always tried to avoid conflicts with Jean, and also because she did not want Toby to hate her for it. She was scared before, but now, she couldn't care less anymore. Sonia only said lightly, Do as you wish. Regardless of how the people behind her yelled, she left the Fuller residence with a suitcase. Seconds later, a red Ferrari pulled up in front of the front door, whereupon a handsome man in the car waved to her. Hey, baby, hop on. Sonia got in the car, and the two left together. Thanks for listening to the Bravonovel audiobook. Welcome to download the Bravonovel app. Read the novel this time. I will get my divorce. Mr. Online and get the latest updates.